Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yes, we are live. Welcome to Drinkin Bros, everyone. Man, it feels like the news is never ending these days, doesn't it, Anthony?
It's weird.
It means we're in election season. A lot's going on. We're 60 days out now from the election, and it can't come fast enough, in my opinion.
I guess you could think of it that way. If you think there's going to be some resolution to anything that's going on right now, I don't think there will be. I guess if you're someone who owns a small business, you got to be thinking to yourself, well, do I want Biden to get elected so he will call off his attack dogs? Or my business might go out because, Kamala Harris wants socialism. So it's like there's no real good choice on that side, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get the sudden shift in attitude. It's weird. It
is a very, very hard pivot.
Yeah, it's
what's
almost
happened in the last 48 hours.
It's almost as if a major public figure on the Democratic side and the media said something about there being a blind spot in polling issues for the Democrats when it comes to violent riots, right? Sorry, it was Don Lemon that said that on Wednesday.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden on Saturday, Joe Biden all of a sudden gives a fuck about people getting fucked up in riots. So when it was a white child getting shot in the head or people getting attacked coming out of the fucking RNC and shit like that, didn't matter until what? Polling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You're a cunt.
Yeah.
Biden, you're a cunt.
Me personally, I'm very surprised. All the polls that we've seen have been Biden plus 15, Biden plus 11, Biden plus 12. Clearly something happened within the last 48 hours, some form of polling that we're not privy to because the media is not reporting whatever these new polls are showing. But the Democrats in the last 48 hours have made a hard pivot against the violence that is come with these protests, and more importantly, the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, granted, I don't think that a lot of these people who are causing the violence are actual black people who are protesting peacefully. A lot of it is Antifa, but that's with the left, right? So what are you going to do? They're all lumped in together now at this point. And I had this conversation with a mutual friend of ours over the weekend, and the crazy thing is like you had called this months ago, where you said there is no organization and there is no leadership within that group to sustain a long run in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And I thought for sure, after all of this time and the things that keep happening, that someone would rise and there would be one guy.
No, they eat their own, so you can't. That'll never happen. Like one person will have some kind of blemish and they'll cannibalize them. That's the way it works in the left. It's the way it's always worked. It's cancel culture, and it happens at the macro level and at the micro level all the time. I don't know where it goes from here. What I do know is that the leadership that does exist, like the chair party or the party chairs of BLM in New York and Chicago and shit like that, have not really done anything. As a matter of fact, they've come out in support very frequently of like violence and things like that, right? Not just violence, but they assuage the violence, they excuse that, but then discuss their political agenda. You know what I mean? That's like, come on, man. It is terrorism. If you try to use violence to change politics, that's terrorism. That's not a debate.
Right.
That's the goddamn definition of the word. So I don't really know what's going on with all this, frankly. It's hard to put your finger on it. I know that CNN is probably one of the most irresponsible groups of human beings that exist on this planet today. The guy that got shot in the face in Portland, the Trump supporter, right?
2 nights ago.
People are trying to... This is from what I saw from the video. People are trying to yank the flags off of his truck, and he's trying to push them back. Somebody throws something at him, he picks it up and throws it back at him, and then all of a sudden people are shooting, right? The guy that shot him is a member of Antifa, according to him, right?
Right. In this particular instance, the guy that was shot in the head was walking at this point. He had a Blue Lives Matter flag around him for the police. And he just got, I saw the video. He just, look, literally, the guy just walked up and shot him in the head, and that was it. It appeared to be an empty street, and just the two of them at that point. You know, a couple things. Again, you've been on fire throughout this entire thing. One of the things that you had said a while back was, I think shit last week, you were talking about with the Kenosha shit, where they shouldn't have been there. None of them should be there. I kind of want to put that on Portland as well, because of what happened over the weekend. Is like, hey man, you're in Portland. You're going into Portland. Do you have the right to go there? Absolutely. Is there going to be violence? Yes, and you know that going in. Should you go is the question. And just because you have the American right to go down and protest, should you go? My answer is no to that, because this is what could happen. You could be walking down the street and somebody could come up with a gun and just blow your fucking brains out on the street and then walk away. I certainly wouldn't tell my kids or family members to go down there just because they could. Now, should they? That debate is up to you guys, I guess. The other thing, going back to the leadership of the BLM movement, when I was thinking about what you said a few months ago and applying it to today, there is no Martin Luther King in today's era who's going to be the face of the movement, be in charge, and lead protests that are peaceful. Right. And I think that's why he had such a great impact on the world. Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, it's difficult for people to get their mind around this because the weight of injustice builds anger and resentment, and I understand that. Like I understand anger and resentment as well as anybody does, and I get it. But the same thing with kneeling for the flag. Do you want to fucking make a scene, or do you want to win this fight? Because while it didn't fix everything, Martin Luther King won his fight. While it didn't fix everything, Nelson Mandela won his fight. He won his fight by saying no. No, I'm not going to fucking do what they did to me. You know what I mean?
In a peaceful manner, by the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the point. That's the point. He said, I'm not going to fucking go after people who came after me, because then it's just going to be a repetitive cycle on and on. And now you're seeing it. When George Floyd died, and look, we can talk about how he had a lethal dose of fentanyl in his system and excited delirium and all that bullshit, but the cop was wrong for what he did. There's no question about that. It was irresponsible. At any rate, everybody seemed to be on the same side there for a couple of weeks until all this bullshit started. That's on BLM. That's their responsibility for not controlling that, frankly, because we know what it takes to win these fights. You're never going to win them with violence. It does not work that way, because you can't do violence like we can, period. You just can't fucking do it. So when I say we, I mean, like,
I guess as a country.
I guess we is not the right way to say that, because I don't really fall on that side. But people who want peace in this country, like you want to fucking change the way things go. That's fine. When you're talking about how to make sure everybody's treated equally, that's fine. I'm good with that. When you start trying to interject all this shit about Marxism and tearing down the fucking establishment and all that bullshit, I'm sorry, but we're going to fight back on that. And it's a fight that you don't want, because you can't win it. This isn't Venezuela or Panama or any other South American country where the U.S. has sent paramilitary operators to train local nationals on how to fight back. That shit ain't happening here. You don't have the ability to win that fight. And really, why would you want to win it that way? To me, that's petty almost, in a way. It's like, I'm so angry, I don't care if I even win this. It's like when you just say something horrible to your fucking wife or girlfriend or some shit. Like, I didn't even want to win the argument. I just wanted to hurt that person. That is not the right answer. And if that's your answer, then you've got to go. You know, maybe it's unfortunate, and in a lot of these cases, you are well within your right to feel that way. However, if you act that way, there are consequences. the consequences are that you're going to get thrown in fucking jail or you're going to get shot. You know what I mean? So people really need to start thinking about what is the outcome that you want ultimately. Now, if the outcome you want is equality of opportunity, then that's perfect. That's what everybody should be looking for. If your outcome is to dismantle our system and to interject Marxism and to destroy the nuclear family, which statistically we know works, and things like that, then you're not gonna. We're gonna have to fight you back. We have to. We can't not fight you back on that, and you're going to lose ultimately. And it's not even the point of all this. The point of all this was supposed to be equality and racial justice, not Marxism. Where the fuck did that even come from? It doesn't make any sense. So every time I see one of these, like the NBA with all their bullshit, they won't fucking play unless their arenas get used for voting booths. Meanwhile, there's that tongue-in-cheek, kind of under your breath, unspoken rule that, hey, if you're an NBA fan, you should probably vote for the Democrats. You know what I mean? You're going to vote for the guy that wrote the crime bill and the woman that enforced it, right? That'll help.
Well, even in LeBron's statement towards that, it was like, we need to change who is in power. And it's like, all right, great, but that's not telling everybody your vote is equal then. You're telling people who to vote for, like you said. And the hard pivot that's been going on in the left with this violence issue is shocking to me, because we've heard Kamala Harris on television for weeks now at this point saying, no, this is going to keep happening, and it's going to keep happening over and over and over
and
again.
And it should, is what she said.
Yeah, and she said not only should it, but it'll go on well after the election and everything else.
I mean, Jerry Nadler was getting kind of street interviewed, I guess, by Austin Fletcher, and he was like, hey, what's your stance on this shit in Antifa? Why haven't you guys come out and said something about this in Portland? Like, they're fucking the city up. And he's like, oh, that's a myth. Is it? Is it a myth when a guy who says he's a member of Antifa walks up and shoots somebody in the fucking face? Is that a myth?
Boy.
Kamala Harris just the other day was warning, or June 2020, like the 12th, I think it was the 12th interview happened, said something like, everyone beware, because it's not going to stop. They're not going to stop the election, or they're not going to stop before the election, not going to stop after the election, and everyone should take note of that. And then Biden says, do you really feel safer under Trump, or do you think if Trump gets elected, the violence is going to stop? That is a fucking veiled threat, by the way.
Yeah, and by the way, and this is breaking as we're going along here, Biden is tweeting at a rate
120 tweets so far today, the last I saw.
Yes. That is, it's hard to, like, I was trying to figure out a quick math equation in my head. I can't, because I'm like, man, what is that fucking, you're going, what, every 10 minutes at this point, I guess? So I'll just read off a few of these here to you, but this was 3 hours ago, the first one. I mean, there's a million of them, but does anyone believe that there will be any less violence in America if Donald Trump is reelected?
Yeah, that's a threat, by the way.
Yeah, which I just replied, yes, I do. I do believe there'll be less violence, but he's got to be able to do his fucking job, and these mayors and governors can't keep shooting help down. The next one is Donald Trump can't stop the violence we're seeing today because for years he has fomented it.
Fomented.
Don't know that word.
Foment.
Real.
Foment means
Foment,
to,
I do, but not foment.
Foment means to like start or bake, I guess, like an insurrection. You foment insurrection. Yep.
It's a big word to use that Joe Biden definitely didn't write.
No, he's in his basement crying right now.
No, he definitely didn't write this.
Drinking Metamucil.
The next one was about maybe 5 minutes later. Donald Trump may believe mouthing the words law and order makes him strong, but his failure to call on his own supporters to stop acting as armed militia in this country shows you how weak he is. 5 minutes after that, I want a safe America, safe from COVID, safe from crime and looting, safe from racially motivated violence, safe from bad cops.
Cool.
Let's be crystal clear. Safe from 4 more years of Donald Trump. 2 minutes later after that, the simple truth is Donald Trump failed to protect America, so now he's trying to scare America. 2 more minutes after that. I mean, this is a crazy pace that I don't I don't know why.
They're
I
just
don't think
trying.
I've ever.
They're just trying to create traffic. That's all it is. It's a search engine optimization play. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's just digital media. They want if somebody who is wondering what's happening right now that isn't really following everything closely searches protests, then everything's going to show up. Oh, fucking Joe Biden denounces protests. When actually, this is the reality of the situation. So Kamala Harris has spent time on Twitter and elsewhere raising money for the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. So the Minnesota Freedom Fund was bailing rioters out of jail in Minneapolis. That's what they did. And she and Joe Biden's staff were both donating to this organization. Now, so far, they've bailed out people who include a man accused of attempted murder because he was shooting at a SWAT team. They bailed him out. Like he was shooting at a SWAT team, and Kamala Harris's money bailed him out of jail, just so you're clear. A woman charged with second-degree murder because she actually murdered somebody. And then a twice-convicted rapist who was also pending charges in 2 other cases. So, come on. Biden's been referring to these people as peaceful protesters for months now. CNN ran that headline the other day with the city on fire behind them.
Yeah.
Fiery but mostly peaceful protest was the line. They actually posted a story on Saturday night or Sunday morning that said violent protesters, and then they removed the word violent an hour later. Right? Remember when this all started? It was Don Lemon Tuesday night last week during the handoff from his show to Cuomo's show, and he said that the Democrats have a big blind spot when it comes to the violence in these riots, and we're starting to see it in the polling. Within a matter of days, the entire attitude of the left switched. If you think they're genuine about this, look at 2 things. Look at what caused all this, right? Like what caused them to switch, which we see now is the polling. They don't care, right? And then their behavior before they figured out it was a problem. People's behavior before they figure out there's some kind of issue, that's what will tell you what their true motivation is. And we see exactly what their true motivation is. They want to set up this system where the same thing they did with COVID, which, by the way, 5% of those cases are real.
Yeah.
Sweet. So the same thing with COVID. They want to create panic in a situation where it makes Donald Trump look bad. It weakens the economy, and then they want to create division and then promote division and then all of a sudden turn against division when it becomes politically expedient to do so. And that, my friend, is bullshit. That's politics. It's nonsense. It's not real. And somebody that cares more about getting their own political party into power than the health and welfare of the United States and its people doesn't deserve a second look.
No. You're going to love the latest tweet here from Joe Biden, and I can't make this up. Because it's so insane that it's hard to believe. It's something we would joke about on the show, but he actually said it. The next tweet from Biden is, more cops have died from COVID this year than have been killed on patrol.
What?
Nearly 1 in 6 small businesses in this country are closed. Do you really feel any safer?
It's Democratic governors and mayors that are closing businesses. Trump has been trying to reopen the economy, and they've been fighting him for it for months now. Why do you continuously? This is what I hate most about Democrats. They keep putting me in a position where I have to defend this fucking dum-dum. I don't like it. I don't like being made to take sides with someone that I don't particularly care for. And you're making people do that right now. And what's really going to happen is people just aren't going to vote.
Probably, right? I would imagine the turnout is going to be very low on the Democratic side. I would have said so anyways. But night after night, as the violence continues, and it's going to be splashed in your face, because let's face it, this is one thing the media actually needs that they can't protect anymore, because they need this coverage, they need these clicks, and they need these ratings right now. So they're going to be forced to coverage these protests and riots and all this shit. The problem is it looks so bad for the party that they're trying to help win that they don't realize that it's actually creating that, and there's nothing you can do about it on their side. So these people aren't going to stop. I don't know what the goal is then for Antifa. What is your end goal if it's not to get your candidate in office?
Well, and I don't think Antifa gives a fuck about somebody being in office or not.
I thought they did. So I guess I'm in the wrong here. Like I
think they're just angry children. I think they're angry children who don't have anything better to do.
And they have no political affiliation?
I mean, look, they definitely don't like Donald Trump, but
Obviously, yeah.
I think if Obama was in office still, they'd probably be doing the same shit. Frankly, I don't think it's pro-Democrat necessarily. I see a lot of these very misinformed, maybe not even misinformed, just liars in conservative social media trying to associate Antifa with the Democratic Party. I don't think that's true. What I do think is true is that the Democratic Party has sat on its hands and kept silent about this, and even said that Antifa is a myth, right? Or that the violence from Antifa is a myth. Those things are true. Mm-hmm. So all of you out there in that world, you don't have to make up lies. There's plenty of real fucking information that makes this look bad, where you don't have to make shit up, because you look like a fucking asshole when you do that.
And we've got some breaking news here on the Kenosha front. President Trump is going to go to Kenosha, Wisconsin this week. He's just been told by the governor of Wisconsin to reconsider his upcoming visits to the community. He said, I, along with other community leaders who have reached out, are concerned about what your presence will mean for Kenosha and our state.
This is starting to feel like 2010 again, when the fucking Tea Party came into power for a little bit. People, like, this is the same buildup. It was all the shit that Obama was doing, which people did not like, right? For better or worse. I'm not making a judgment on whether it was right or not, but people felt like things were under attack. They were losing their doctors and getting reassigned to new doctors, regardless of what that fucking dude said. That is what happened. People lost their programs and went on new programs. That was a lie. And even, I mean, you can fucking look that shit up anywhere. Everybody believes that was an inaccurate statement. May not have been a lie, but it was definitely inaccurate. People were not happy about that. And, I'm sure there was some kind of, there's always this element of, we want our country back. Anytime white people lose a little bit of fucking stuff, whatever it happens to be, lose a little ground somehow. Yeah. So some of it, I'm sure, is that, but what it does is foster an environment where people who, for example, are big supporters of QAnon get fucking their party's nomination for Congress.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how that shit happens. That's how a Michelle Bachmann shows up on the ticket. It is in crazy times where the other side makes no sense, that the only way to defeat them is to put another asshole up there that doesn't make any sense either. Like, you can't try to fucking reason with a person that's out of their mind and tell me how that goes for you. It doesn't work. You can't be the reasonable person on stage when there's a fucking lunatic being supported by their party on the other side. It doesn't work that way. That's why Trump won. That whole populist thing where he was just like, I don't give a fuck what I say. You can get fucked. I'll shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. You can suck my dick. And he won. And it was because of that. It was because people were primed to not give a fuck about the words. They cared about what the fuck was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's coming around again. I see people out in public talking about it now. A lot of young black men actually talking about how they're finally starting to admit, like, what exactly did the Democratic Party do for us these last 50 years, aside from just keep us at a subsistence level? You know what I mean? Like, what exactly did they do? Because it wasn't upward mobility, which is what we needed. It wasn't that. It wasn't better health care, because we didn't get it. It wasn't, help with fucking economic equality in general, and it certainly wasn't how you treat us in the criminal justice system, because all of this stuff that gets laid at the feet of conservatives, this is maddening to me. All of this stuff that gets laid at the feet of conservatives when it comes to the criminal justice, like, there's this trope that there's the racist white Republican cop that's out there looking for black dudes. It is the goddamn crime bill that is putting these people in jail for years, and was written by Joe Biden. What the fuck? Like, how can we not just admit that? This is another reason why I think there should be minimum vote necessity to win the election. Like, at least 60% of the country has to vote. Otherwise, neither fucking party wins.
Well, that does exist on the local level.
In some places, yeah.
And we've seen it happen. I don't know. What was the last election? I'm trying to think. It was right around, 130 million people voted in that last one, 135. Which is roughly 1/3 of the country.
Well, there's only 180 million adults, I think, in the U.S.
Yeah, you're right. That's dumb. That's dumb of me. But I know this: only 20% of the NBA is registered to vote.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
good luck with LeBron James putting voter booths in every single arena.
Yeah, 61.4% of the citizen voting age population reported voting in 2016. Now,
So they did meet that threshold then.
absolutely, but
Okay.
if you told them that that threshold existed, then I think a lot more people would sit it out. Like, because
It's
people,
interesting. I've never thought of it like that.
because right now, if fucking 10 people vote,
Yeah.
whoever gets those 10 votes wins. It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like 10 people per state, I guess you would need per state to win the fucking electoral Congress. But, yeah, or college rather, you would, I think people would sit out at this point. And I think that should be our right to sit out, frankly. And I think, and so there's constitutional provisions for things like that. Like, Congress is able, there's a line of succession. Congress is able to name, if like there is an electoral college tie, then the president of the Congress names the fucking president, right? Isn't that how it works?
I believe so.
And the president of the Congress would be whomever the vice president, or the president of the Senate, rather. It would be whomever the vice president was at the time.
Could you imagine if that happened?
Yeah, I could. It'd be great.
I don't see a world in which the electoral college will be split. Not at all. I've been riding this Big Ten theory for
Yeah, it's the 12th Amendment.
the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me who was, because I'm pissed off that Ohio State isn't playing football. I thought this Big Ten theory was solely just me and my fucking anger towards the Big Ten not playing football, but then it changed over the weekend. Because here's what I've been telling friends and family privately is like, look, most of these swing states are in the Big Ten conference. Ohio, Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Pennsylvania. These are all Big Ten schools where college football is a major part of that state. It was shut down by Kevin Warren, who is the commissioner of the Big Ten, along with Gretchen Whitmer, who is the governor of Michigan. She was instrumental in saying, I don't want Michigan State and Michigan to play. Now, look, on the field, Ohio State and Michigan hate each other. Off the field, everybody just wants to play football. I think with the opening of the college football season starting on Saturday, even though it was an FCS game with Austin Peay and Central Arkansas, it showed that college football could not only be played, but there was fans in the stands and everybody was fine afterwards. The debate raged on that college football should be played in the Big Ten since the SEC and the ACC are doing it. My theory became true when later on in the evening, Joe Biden released a campaign video with all of the empty stadiums, including Michigan, from the Big Ten, saying Trump did this to you and he emptied out your stadiums. This is why you can't play. Everything that I thought in my mind and privately was political was now in the forefront, and it turned out to be true. And the reverse course of the Democrats over the last 48 hours between the violence, between the Big Ten not playing football and these governors getting involved behind the scenes is now unfolding before our very eyes. And I think all of this collectively is why these polls have changed. And now you're seeing Biden tweet at a rate that, frankly, Trump does on a Saturday, on a Monday, and he's not a Twitter guy. And these words out of him, like with Trump, you know it's him.
Yeah.
There's misspellings, there's bigly.
Yeah.
Bigly's used a lot. Like, it's shit that it's words that I make up and use on this goddamn show, for Christ's sakes. You know it's Trump. With Biden, you know this is clearly someone else. But to get this many tweets out is mind-altering right now for him. And it shows to me, that they think they are going to lose. Michael Moore was on TV this weekend.
Lose, yeah.
Michael Moore even said this weekend, he goes, hey, man, if you think this isn't 2016 all over again, think again.
It's, there's too much going on right now. And they waited too long to make this move. They should have made this move back in June, probably, late June. They could have let it go on for a little while.
The Democrats?
Yes.
Okay.
They could have let it go on for a little while, but the fact that they let it go on this long, it's too late. Everybody knows they're full of shit now. You don't win moderates by being disingenuous. That always backfires. Like if you pander to moderates, they fucking, because they're moderates for a reason. They're moderates because they fucking don't like this shit and they're thinking for themselves. You can't lie to people like that. You can say I fucked up. You can say, look, we're going to change position on this because this bullshit's getting out of hand. And what would Trump say about it? I was right. He could say that for a couple of days and that story's over. Mm. But when they come out like this hard line and say exactly the opposite of the shit they've been saying for months, then everybody knows you're full of shit. It's bad politics, and that's why they can't fucking win elections. Now Harris is talking about a fucking nationwide mask mandate. So why would you even bring that? She was just like, oh, well, don't worry. No one's going to be fucking, what did she say? Nobody's going to be punished. That's what she said.
Like, was punishment on the table then? Is that where you
I guess. It's like, how dare you even think that you can fucking tell me what to do, you fucking bitch. Fuck you. And I mean that to her and Biden, by the way. And anybody else that wants to try to tell me what to do with my personal life. But particularly, I got to wonder, after she made that comment, and then the CDC information came out, which we'll talk more about on the fake news on Thursday. Mm-hmm. But after this CDC information came out, which if you are a fan of the show, you'll remember me saying all of this 4 months ago.
Yeah. Literally word for word.
Literally word for word. The whole thing. The comorbidity thing where it's not just like the vast majority of these cases aren't just COVID. It's old people with COVID that also get the flu or pneumonia for the most part, or they're fucking fat. It's one of those things, right? Been saying that for a long time. Also been talking about how about data science and data distribution, all that shit, what the real mortality rate, it's probably about 0.03%, not 0.3%, frankly.
Right.
So, man, it went from, at least from the cases that the CDC was reviewing, it went from like 156 down to 9,500 that were only COVID. That's a big difference.
Big jump, man. Big jump in numbers.
That is that's an embarrassing miscalculation, and it's. I think there's a number of things that need to happen right now. I think if there's any kind of qualified immunity for individual leaders like mayors or governors or congresspeople and shit like that, I think it needs to go away. I think if you show up to do that office as a governor, then you should be personally responsible. I don't want to sue the state. I don't want the state's tax money. I want your fucking money. I want your money that you got rich over the years in politics and with your power and influence, made yourself rich on the backs of fucking hardworking Americans, misspent their money and tried to treat them like you knew better than they did. I want your fucking money. I think every governor in this country, every mayor, every elected official should be subject to a personal civil lawsuit at this point. And if you're one of those mayors like Ted Wheeler in Portland that have allowed your city to get fucking butt-fucked by these retard Antifa people and rejected the president's offers for the National Guard and whoever else to come in there, then you should be personally, legally responsible for my business going down. If you're the fucking mayor of Austin and you want to close down bars because you think somehow magically having a bag of chips in my hand makes me less likely to get fucking COVID, then you got to go, bitch. I want all your fucking money. I want your whole fucking life. And you get the fuck out because you fucked up. You fucked up people's livelihoods. You shut down thousands of businesses that will never reopen. People that spent their hard work, all their fucking money. They fucking took chances. Now their fucking marriages are probably going to crumble. Their kids are going to get fucked over for the next generation. All this stuff tumbles downhill, and it's because of you, because you're a fucking idiot and a coward. You have to go. You have to get the fuck out of office, and you have to fucking pay these people back for what you did, period. And if we're not going to do that, then I question the fucking... what's the point of democracy in the first place? The point of democracy is to hold people accountable for what they do. And if we can't do that, then you got to get the fuck out.
You know, the weird thing, like, we'll take the mayor in Austin, for example. I got invited to this political event last week, and I went, and people were talking about what's happening to their businesses, what's happening in their lives and their marriages. I mean, all of it. I mean, people were unbelievably vocal, and they're looking to talk to other people who are in the same position as they are. And when they were telling me this, I had asked, I was like, look, we just moved here, so forgive me, but when is he up for re-election, like the mayor of Austin?
And they said 2022, I think.
Yeah, right. And it's not until 2022. I think a lot of these people in a lot of these cities who are up. You know, their elections are up on these off years, so to speak. They're not on the ballot of the president. I feel like they can do what they want to do because they know they still have 2 more years to correct it, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have to make good on anything or try to appeal to the people because they're not on the ballot here in 2 months. They're in 2 fucking years. Mm-hmm. So is this dipshit from Austin. So is the city council. Like they were on TV last night trying to explain why they're taking a third away the police department budget here. And again, they're not up for re-election for another 2 years. So it's like, oh, well, we'll see what happens when that all fucking crumbles. Then they'll change their tune and try to get it back around. But by that point, it's too late.
How many lives and businesses do you have to destroy before you can be forcibly removed from office?
Exactly.
So in Austin, there's no constitutional provision for a recall election. It doesn't exist. So you cannot fire your mayor for being bad at his or her job.
And they know that is the problem.
Well, they don't. They know that, and that is a problem. Like, you should be, if you're an elected official, you should be in constant fear, not for your life or safety, but you should be in constant fear of losing your job, the same way that men and women on the battlefield are in constant fear of letting their friends down because you know the consequences. Mm-hmm. Just because it's not literally life and death right here, it really is, because we know that there are fucking specific ties and economic status to health and long life and happiness and all this other bullshit. Not to mention the fucking basic fact that people work their entire lives to get this shit in the first place. So if you become a big enough detriment to your community, I feel like there should be some provision that you have to go, and if there's not, we need to make one. Like, I don't know what that looks like in Austin, like some kind of ballot measure or some shit like that. But honestly, let's just stop paying taxes. I hope fucking Governor Wheelchair stops allowing property taxes to come back to this city. I'll be fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And if there are people out there that's going to hurt somehow, then you can fucking come stay with me. We'll figure it out. But this city doesn't deserve another dime as long as that man's in office.
I agree. It's strange, man. We've been doing this show for a long time, but and we're friends, best friends in real life, obviously. But I feel like you, more than anybody else that I've listened to, podcast-wise, news-wise, or other, have been the voice of reason during all this fucking shit since COVID started and everything else. And the numbers that we're going to talk about later on in the week will confirm everything that you've been saying over the summer. Because I think a lot of people were wondering, and I think you've helped a lot of people, Dan, for real. I'm being genuine when I say that. We've got some sponsors who pay for the show to be on the air. First and foremost, talking about ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Now's the time, kids. If they're trying to lock you out or keep you in your house, might as well sleep in comfort. They got a 30% off bundle package deal for Labor Day at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 2 free pillows with a mattress, that sheets, adjustable bases, all of it. I just got some new sheets yesterday, actually. Shout out to Ghostbed. I used my own promo code. We used the fucking URL, so whatever. Not going to lie, 30% off is 30% off. You know what I'm saying? When you go there, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest. That's at the bottom of the page. So whatever you buy on there, you can check that box, and congratulations, you'll get all this shit for like $30 a month or whatever. And it really is life-changing, man. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Sleep so good it's scary. Next up, we got. Is it Roman? Is it Roman time, dude?
Yeah. It's always Roman time.
Is it Roman time today? Do we have to boner up today? Go to getroman.com/Drinkin Bros. Get your boner on. Giorgio, what's your OnlyFans at? 7. Get 7 people right now. All right. So our producer Giorgio is going to take a before and after pic of his boner on his OnlyFans. Is it just Giorgio? How do you spell that for the people? Because a lot of people, Giorgio. Giorgio. Because a lot of people have been spelling it Geo. It's just Giorgio on OnlyFans. I think it's $5. If you don't believe that the fucking Roman works, dude, he's gonna take a before and after pic of his boner on Roman on there, and that's worth the price of admission alone. A lot of podcasts promote Roman, but none of them have said, hey, man, we're actually going to give it to one of our employees and take a before and after pic of the boner itself to see if it's actually working. I'm interested in seeing it. You know my love of dick pics, Giorgio, so go to Just Giorgio on OnlyFans. It's not just for girls anymore. It's for before and after dick pics. Here's the thing, kids. It's a simple 48-hour. They get free shipping. All you have to do is go on there, check a couple boxes. You don't have to go see your doctor in person and say my dick doesn't work or anything like that. Even if you just want a boner recreationally, it's great. Go to GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros today. Free shipping and very discreet packaging. It just comes in like a little blue package. It just says Roman. No one knows what the fuck that is. Last but not least, I'm drinking it right now, liquidiv.com. I like how I've got the White Claw and we got the Liquid IV. What I do is I get the Liquid IV down. I'll take down one of these things a day. Doubles your hydration like that. Just a packet, boom, goes in the water, doubles your hydration, you're good to go. You've probably seen it at your local grocery stores and at Sam's Club and Costco and all that stuff. However, you're not getting a promo code there. Not that we don't recommend buying it there. I would just go to liquidiv.com and type in the promo code Drinkin Bros and you get 25% off. That's a massive savings. So, yes, you could go and buy it at Walmart or whatever you want. However, if you order it online, it'll get shipped to your house and you get 25% off the promo code Drinkin Bros. Throw a packet of this and 16 ounces of water. It will rehydrate you real quick. And I know a bunch of people in our audience have hit us up and said, hey, man, this shit works amazing. That's how I found out about it. I was hungover as shit. It was at my buddy Nick's house. He had it and put it in my drink, and I was like, holy fuck, this is awesome. So we reached out to the company. We're like, look, man, we would like to put this on there. If people knew about this, more people knew about it, they'd drink the shit out of it, and sure enough, you guys are. I start my day off with Black Rifle coffee in the morning. I have one of these guys, and then usually pop in a little Strike Force at some point to keep the energy going. So we got some fantasy football drafts tonight, D'Anthony. And then I'm good to go with a Kill Cliff CBD to top off the night. I'm not a big water guy. I want something in it. That's why I'm always putting Liquid IV in there or Strike Force or something like that. But the one that's going to rehydrate you like ASAP, dude, is liquidiv.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you 25% off there. The thing that I'm going to be curious, Dan, about everything that's going on in the last 48 hours for the Democrats now is how much this is going to influence the debates. Because how is Kamala Harris going to take back what she has said?
I have no idea. I mean, look, if I'm the Trump team right now, all I'm doing is going back and finding clips of her saying stupid shit, turning that into a campaign video. Yeah. And I don't run it to conservative people at all. Like digital marketing these days, you can be pretty selective about who you run those ads to. I run it to only people who are moderate. And I run it 24 hours a day. I spend the majority of my money on that, frankly. I spend the majority of my money on Joe Biden saying, I don't want my schools being a racial jungle. I spend it on him fucking talking about the crime bill before fucking 2020. And I spend it on her talking about protests and all this other bullshit over the last couple of years. Now, if they do that, there's literally no chance that they can win.
A half hour before we went on air, I saw the first campaign video that had almost word for word everything you just said in that video. They're hip to the game. His social media department's the best. Trump's is.
They're not bad.
But what I like is the articles that are coming out now from the media trying to spin it in a way that Trump created the violence. Yeah. And then wants to use it to his advantage.
Why isn't Trump doing anything about this? And I agree with him on that, actually. I agree with him. Why isn't Trump doing anything about this? And it's because the optics are bad. The jump out boys are out there, they're doing shit, but I feel like every fucking major U.S. city should be covered in these people.
I agree.
And keep in mind that that Kamala Harris and everybody on the left, Pelosi, Nadler, all these fuckfaces have been decrying the jump out boys since these fucking mysterious federal agents in unmarked vehicles are swiping people up off the street. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, why isn't Trump doing something about the violence? Are you fucking kidding me? Here's what they saw. They finally saw a Trump supporter get murdered on the street. And they said, you know what? We can turn Trump supporters against him by showing he can't protect his own people. That's what this is, by the way. It is. Nobody believes it, though, because he's tried repeatedly. I don't think he's tried hard enough, frankly. But I don't think this murder is on him. I think this murder is on Ted Wheeler, a guy who allowed this shit to foment inside of his city for fucking months now. And not even for months. It's been years with these assholes in Portland. They have gone unchecked, and that's what happens. They're like children. The more you let them get away with, the more they're going to try, right? Human beings are pack animals. We need to be checked every now and again. It's basic fucking psychology. Every now and again, you need somebody to tell you no, so you know what the left and right limits are. That's what comedy is, by the way. Comedy is meant to test the left and right limits of what is acceptable to say in society, right? And if you stay on that edge and every now and again say something that's a little too fucked up, you're going to be very popular doing it, because that's what people need to hear, right? It's basically market capitalism at work in sociology is what it is. So that's what happens here, and these people just haven't gotten it. I don't necessarily think it's about the way they were raised, because I know a wide array of people that are involved in shit up there. Like, some of them, sure, needed to be slapped more when they were children, but I think more than that, they needed to be slapped when they were fucking 20 years old, when they didn't know shit, but everybody around them was telling them they did. Like, your opinion is not important. It's not. Nobody's opinion is important until you can validate it with information. If I ask you to explain to me why you feel, how you feel, and you can't do that, then your opinion is not real. It's bullshit. And you probably just heard that shit from somebody else. Now, Ted Wheeler's allowed this for months. Like I said, in Portland, he's allowed this to go unchecked. He's allowed people to act autonomously, right, without any kind of fucking consequence for their actions, whether it be blocking traffic, lighting businesses on fire, or any of this shit that's happened, attacking people, trying to intimidate and harass people. All of this stuff that is essentially terrorism, because I hate to use the qualifier essentially. It is terrorism. If you're trying to fucking get in my face and intimidate me with a group of people to do something, some political action, whatever the fuck it is, that is terrorism. And he's allowed that to happen. Now he's on the fucking stump trying to accuse Trump of doing it. But that's what it is. It's one of yours finally got fucked up, and now you're trying to turn that element against you. That's all it is. And it's so transparent to anybody that's really paying attention that it's almost laughable that they would even try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you just accuse somebody like, hey, did you fucking eat the sandwich, dude? What the hell? And he's got fucking mustard on his face. He's like, nah, would you eat it? Did you eat it? What, me? It must have been shit. And I don't know, man. Maybe you should learn to protect your sandwich. You know what I mean? That's what this conversation is. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, and all these people are cunts.
Yeah, man, it's only going to get worse too. I can't wait for the first debates. End of September is now when it is what I've heard.
September 29th.
That's late, I feel. I thought it was supposed to be earlier. You're right, by the way, because I looked it up. But
September 26th through the October 29th was the presidential debate season in 2016.
Oh, it was. Okay. It feels later in the year this year, and to me, it only gives them more excuse to cancel one of them or a couple of them.
I'm sure they will, yeah. By the way, Congress is voting on the legalization of weed next month.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I just had that discussion with a neighbor of mine. What would happen in a situation like that? Like, how does Congress... I thought it was a state-by-state thing.
Well, I mean, look, a couple of things have to happen. One, the weed has to be removed from the Schedule I narcotics list, which is something that Trump could do just by saying it out loud. He could turn slightly to his right and say to the Attorney General, hey, weed's not going to be a Schedule I narcotic anymore, and that's it. Like, he has that authority to do that. And I don't know why. Maybe saving it, whatever. I don't know why he's not doing it, because he's done shit like that in the past. And people on the right are like, see, I fucking told you he doesn't care about race or gender or whatever the case. He's not racist or sexist or whatever the fuck. Here's the evidence of it, and people will deny it. But this one's too big to deny. If he fucking legalizes weed, it's fucking, that is what it is. You can't really fucking argue with that.
It's huge. I think it goes back to the gay marriage thing for Obama during his thing of like, why did he wait so long? I think he waited I think everybody waited so long because you're still worried about that segment of America who
Maybe.
is super religious and is like, oh, I still hate gay people. With the weed thing, it's still kind of hit and miss. Where I meet people and they're like, weed is the devil still. And
I haven't met someone like that in years.
I have, and it's always strange to me. But you have these conversations and you're like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. And it's typically with older people, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they vote.
Yeah, but exactly. So I think that's why Trump would wait until the second.
Maybe, but I don't
do it.
I don't think so. I think it would be a mistake for him to wait. I think this would be a huge opportunity for him. And I don't think that
I did too, by the way.
I don't think Obama was waiting because he was worried about the vote. I think he was waiting because he wanted to do it at a politically expedient moment. And it kind of just worked out that way, frankly. Like it worked out pretty well for him. And it working out that well for him was very bad for Hillary Clinton because she had been against marriage equality, like vocally against it until 2013. And then he came out, Biden said whatever the fuck he said, like, yeah, we should do that. And you know, Obama's like, fuck, I guess we got to do this now.
Yeah.
But it did kind of work out for them. I think for Trump, this is the moment to do it. Like, why wait? If you get reelected, who gives a fuck if you legalize weed at that point? Like, it'll be a non-issue at that point.
It'll be for your like all-time record. And I think, you know, whenever you go back to the accomplishments, I'm going to air quote that of Obama, people will say, well, look, he legalized gay marriage. He did it.
Well, actually, it was the Supreme Court that did that, not Obama.
Right. But he's the one that gets the credit for it during that period of time. And
unrightfully so.
The same thing. I agree. But
whatever.
I think it's the same thing here. And I think you're probably worried about losing the evangelical votes with the weed thing. That's my guess. I have no fucking idea. But there's still some people who are like, oh, weed, marijuana.
Maybe, but that's the thing. So old people definitely vote. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But how do you get young libertarians to vote for you instead of Joe Jorgensen? Now, that's only going to be about 2 million votes, but that's, you know, he lost by 2 million last time, technically speaking, in the popular election. So that's that would be a big turn for people. I don't think voting for Jorgensen's a good idea.
By the way, a bunch of our listeners have wrote in to get Joe Jorgensen on the show. We reached out. So I reached out to her and her team personally. They said that they were too busy with requests to.
I'm sure they are, yeah.
To come and do the show. Here's the thing, though, man. Like, if you don't know at this point that podcasts and social media is the way to campaign and get to younger voters, something is wrong with your campaign.
Right.
I even saw Joe Biden on fucking Cardi B's Instagram the other day. Her Instagram, what is it, like 68 million or something crazy like that? Like, that's way more than he would get going on Stephen Colbert, one of those shows. So I don't understand why Joe Jorgensen wouldn't be on the show. I mean, shit, last time in 2016, everybody reached out from that campaign. It was, fuck, man. We had to send Jared to go meet with Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson, yeah.
Jared shows up. He's showing up for duck hunting in the afternoon.
Yep.
Is what he looks like, and I think the campaign was a little shook, but it is what it is. We did reach out to Joe Jorgensen. I haven't seen her do any press, man, at all. I haven't seen one speech. I couldn't even tell you what she sounds like, to be honest with you.
I have no idea what her voice sounds like. Although I've read some of the papers she's written, and you know, it's the same classic libertarian stuff, which some of it I agree with. Like, you know, let's get, but it's not even libertarian. Like her main position on healthcare is let's get healthcare spending under control. What do you mean under control? That's not very libertarian of you, is it, Joe? But her plan is to, like...
You're going to get a lot of hate mail from the
I don't give a fuck, dude. Learn what fucking words mean. Let's have an honest conversation about what's happening. She says she's going to use her executive authority power to block any new borrowing. I'm sorry. That's how you fucking create a depression. Like, there are things that we need to do for sure to get spending under control and to make America produce more than it's fucking consuming? Absolutely. But a wholesale cutoff of borrowing while we're in the middle of a fucking thing like this, that is the most retarded shit I've ever heard in my goddamn life. It is dumb, and it betrays. A lot of people seek out libertarianism because they want another option, because the two options they're presented with, Democrat and Republican, are bullshit. They know that, right? Libertarianism, in a lot of ways, makes some sense, right? And it, just like any other ideology, whether it be classical liberalism or conservatism, it's always a modified version that comes to play. It's not like we're not in a fucking completely open, free market. We never will be, because people, once you hit a certain threshold of wealth, you can do whatever the fuck you want and nobody can stop you. You can jack price it. Once something becomes a commodity that people can't live without, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Mm-hmm. We can't allow that, because our society will fucking break down if that happens, right? On the other side, with the left, people do need help sometimes. We can help them, but the help should be to help them move out of the need for help permanently. And if that's not the case, like in Sweden, for example, there are no fucking limits on how long you can be on unemployment. You go on unemployment, and it is the state or the country's job to fucking help you find a new job, and they will fucking work until you find a new job. Period.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And it's one of the reasons they don't deal with the same bullshit we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're certainly not dealing with the COVID bullshit at all.
No. So
they shut that down real quick.
I'm not saying that she's like libertarianism is a completely bankrupt ideology, but I would ask people to really think about what the fuck she's saying and how it applies to normal life. And also, like, apply the same academic rigor to what she's saying that you would to the shit that Biden and Trump say, because they say a lot of stupid shit too. The idea that after all this time, one political party has it all figured out is absolute nonsense. And there's just no evidence of that. People have different qualities and traits that make them good at different shit. That's how life works, right? That's how gender works. It's how fucking, like, all of human life revolves around what are you good at? How do we employ that for the betterment of you, your family, and the community at large? That's what fucking life is, right? That's what we're trying to figure out as human beings. So there are right and wrong answers. We think that opinions matter in politics. Well, I think that I don't give a fuck what you think. Prove it to me. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Like, if your shit doesn't make sense, then shut your fucking mouth and get the fuck out of here. And if somebody tells you something that makes more sense than what you say or believe, don't get defensive about it. You just got proven wrong, and that's a good thing, because now you're not wrong anymore. Now you're right. You went from wrong to right, and all you had to do was fucking shut the fuck up and listen. And you can't do that if you're a Republican or a Democrat and like, well, here are the 12 things that I believe because I'm this, and you're stuck in these positions having to defend these fucking retards that don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. All they're doing is playing on your emotions. Emotions have no place in government at all. It's nonsense. And if we keep acting like this, we see where it's gotten us so far. It's periods of détente followed by extreme division. And the détente is only so we can catch our breath. It's not because we like each other again. It's only so we can, like, fuck, man, let's stop fighting for like 5 minutes, and then we're going to kick the shit out of each other.
Right.
And where the fuck have we actually gotten? Over the last 50 years, where have we actually gotten with all of this nonsense hostility? Nowhere. And it's because people are deeply entrenched in the shit they believe, and they can't even explain why the fuck they believe it. It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, and again, it is only going to continue, and it's like you said, I don't know if November 3rd solves it or not. For me, at least I can move on with my life, like as a person, win or lose. But a lot of people will still be fighting one way or the other. In particular, if Trump wins like we think he's going to win, boy, batten down the hatches in fucking Portland, dude, because that city's going to burn over and over and over again. Now's the point in the show where we get to the Drinkin Bro of the Week. This one was submitted by Tyler Krasel. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that last name wrong. It is Kracl. I've never heard that last name in my life, but he's from Idaho, so maybe that's got something to do with it. He said he's been a Drinkin Bro for 6 months and is nominating Floyd Golden Albertson. Reason for nomination is that April 2nd of 2019, my grandpa was taken from us at the age of 81 in a car accident after a driver pulled out in front of him. He was the most stand-up, blue-collar, true-blooded American I know. He served in World War II and was a farmer his entire life. There wasn't a thing he wouldn't do for those around him. He's the best example of a husband, father, and grandfather that anyone could ever, the best example that anyone could ever be. I strive every day to be as amazing as he was. His legacy will live on in the hearts of those who knew him and those whose lives were touched by his kindness. Rest in peace, Golden Boy. Man, when you go with Golden as your middle name, I'm a big fan of that, dude. You know it's going to be Golden Boy. You know you're going to be Golden Boy the rest of your life.
That's a strong move.
Strong move, and if you live up to it, it's even stronger. By the way, you can submit all of your submissions for Drinkin Bro of the Week to drinkinbros.com. You can also find some butter soft tri-blends there for Drinkin Bros. They're only $19.99 on the site, and we'll be adding some more to the store. This is another breaking news story here, Dan, that I want to pop in because I think it's important since we had getroman.com/Drinkin Bros on the show today. They're calling it Erection Night in England as the first fully erect penis.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Will finally be seen on television, breaking the last taboo in TV. It's going to be on Channel 4, the documentary Me and My Penis, it's called, which is sweet. So they are saying, yeah, a fully erect penis will appear on this network. Look, man, if you're trying to get to them and see this, if you're trying to get to this network, expressvpn.com/Drinkin Bros is a great way to do it too.
It is.
You can break through all of this. Now, the picture they're using for the hype of this erect penis is a man standing with his legs spread and another dude photographer taking a picture of this gentleman's erect penis. And
is this going to be? Is this yours, Giorgio? Is this your documentary?
Me and My Penis? He's stunned right now. You should go to. We got to go to Giorgio's OnlyFans. Go to Just Giorgio's OnlyFans. You can see his erect penis next month. But it says here that dudes are going to be posing for naked portraits as they discuss a series of male issues. Man, there's a lot of combos I don't want to have with a boner.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk about
anything.
Why Cleveland Indians traded their best pitcher to the Padres during a 60-game season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to talk about that while I've got a full erection.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about why there's only 20% of NBA players that are registered to vote. You know, with a full erection. I'll be happy to have that conversation with you otherwise, but there's a lot of them that I don't want to. I don't know why this has been a thing, by the way. I know this happened in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he had to go back and reshoot some of those things with his dick because you can only have yes. It was. It wasn't flaccid enough. I don't know what the big deal is with an erection.
I don't know what the governing body is in England, like whatever the.
Sexually, Europe has always been more advanced than.
Well, not England. Have. England's pretty repressed.
Are they?
Yeah, the Anglican Church, the Church of England. Come on, man.
Yeah, English are like the most repressed.
Really? Mm-hmm. Have you been there, Giorgio?
No, but I hear about it on the podcast.
Okay, cool. I have not been there. I just assume with like Benny Hill and all that shit running around grabbing pussies that, it's like, that they've made fun of it and it's been a fun thing, but you're saying no. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing this penis because I guarantee you out of this airs, it'll be on Twitter in about
for sure.
10 seconds.
Yep.
So nothing makes me happier in this world than a really funny dick pic.
Yeah.
And we all know that about me. Always have, always will, D'Anthony. And then to Drinkin Bros Sports, which will be rocking tomorrow. We got a couple of the fantasy football drafts tonight. Dan, who are you looking to get here? I just saw the draft order.
Who am I looking to get?
Yeah,
I'm not.
You're in the top 5.
Yeah, I'm not saying who the fuck I'm going to get. Get out of here.
You're in the top 5 of these
I'm the third
tonight.
Yeah, I'm the third pick overall.
Oh, you are? Okay. Mm-hmm. Third pick overall tonight. Let's see. I've got 3. I'd go Ezekiel Elliott, just off the top of my head. I think the Cowboys are going to have a disgusting year, man. I'd go Zeke at that 3 spot. I know people are going like Saquon Barkley and some other spots, but Zeke is around at 3. That's good. If you're not taking McCaffrey at 1, you're a fucking idiot. But
you never know with people.
the toss-up there is who comes after that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Zeke. I'm definitely looking at Zeke. Leonard, ooh. Yeah, fuck. I got
Leonard Fournette doesn't have a team right now.
I was gonna say I've got a draft tonight. I didn't want to say it on air.
I
but,
bet Leonard Fournette ends up on the 49ers. You want to bet?
You know, the Patriots said they were interested, which
Maybe, but they still got James White and homeboy.
50 other fucking running backs.
Yeah.
Rex Burkhead. All
Leonard Fournette's not going to go there. Why would he?
I agree.
That'd be a mistake for him to go there.
I agree.
Like he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. You shouldn't go to the Patriots to do that. Go somewhere that has a chance of winning. They don't.
The Bucks might be a good landing spot for him. We'll see. Brady can keep that guy in check. He's fucking lazy. We'll talk about this on sports tomorrow.
Yeah.
But looking forward to the draft tonight. It's always one of the fun events because I'm going to be honest, Dan. I didn't watch the NBA this weekend, man. After all that bullshit.
No, it's funny you say that. This is a story from, what's today? This is a story from the 26th on Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as NBA ratings mysteriously fall, UFC ratings rise. Mysteriously, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like one of the subheadings, we'll talk about this on the news, but one of the subheadings is NBA ratings decline is baffling. Is it?
It is anything but baffling, I can tell you
It's
that.
only baffling if you live in a fucking echo chamber.
Yeah.
And you only listen to what the people around you are saying. If you listen to other human beings, then you'll understand exactly why it is.
Fun times we're living in, man. The twists and turns of this election continue. We are here with you every single day, Monday through Saturday. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube if you're not watching the video show. And go to iTunes and rate us a 5-star and give us a quick review. It really, really helps move us up the charts. And we're going to have some big political people come on the show here in the next couple months.
Yeah, one of your very favorite conservative congressmen who's a big-ass troll. Someone you've definitely seen videos of talking shit to lefties, so you're going to enjoy that very much.
Very smart guy is coming on the show. And
I'm going to give him a hard time, too, so it'll be fun.
it'll be fun, man. Just tune in every single day on YouTube or subscribe on iTunes or Spotify or wherever else you can get podcasts. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros. Good night, everyone.